Brothers and sisters, gather round for the holy word of truth. Because I am telling you that Tuesday, and it may not be officially Tuesday, it may be weeks later, whatever it is, however it's done, whatever it's done, I am telling you, dear friends, that it is over and that President Donald John Trump will be successful, will win re-election for the first time by a previously a position, the president, winning 2 non-consecutive terms. It's going to happen. I don't know why this is difficult for people to understand. It's going to happen. Everything, but everything is lining up. You're seeing it. I'm seeing it. We're all seeing it. Everyone's seeing it. I want to tell you about so many things that are going to help you and make you feel better, but I also want to tell you something right now, which is very important and very, very critical. I want you to listen to me very carefully. Listen to me. You are being told by so many people that you must calm down and just expect her to win. That this poll and the Iowa poll and the Georgia poll and this guy who's never lost. Remember this? I don't know who this clown is. Have you seen him? He's never lost. I even heard that a Nostradamus. Do not listen to these fools. We are going to win. Let me tell you about what I did today. And let me tell you what is happening. But first, dear friends, I want to explain to you a couple of things which are very, very critical. The first being a very, very special word from our very, very special and critical sponsor. And that is our friend at preparewithlionel.com. Today, and I will tell you more specifically of the event, I was talking to somebody and he says, they're planning something. And this very interesting person even brought up the Hegelian dialectic, the thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, or problem, reaction, solution, trio, and troika. It's fascinating. And they brought it up, and they said, you know what? You know what's going to happen? And they said, what do you think? I said, well, first of all, Trump's going to win. But the first thing I would look to, guaranteed, is something that they can control. And the Democrats always control labor. And always have. And if they decide that they're going to pick up that dock workers strike, as the dock workers told you, they didn't settle anything. They just suspended it. That's what I would look to. And coming up, no matter how you look at it, you are going to be in need of actually emergency food. And I've told you this before. Preparewithlionel.com. You're smart. You know what to do. You don't need anybody to explain to you the necessity of that. And also a great and special thanks to our friends at MyPillow, mypillow.com. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Our dear friends, the one, the only, the inimitable, the ineffable, the great, the glorious, this just incredible, this man, Mike Lindell, and what he's had to go through. It is still simply unimaginable. But the good part is, and the great part is that the items are without peer. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, and look at this. For example, a classic collection sale, standards $14.88, bed sheet sale, mattress toppers. Mattress toppers are a joke for $100. Mattress sales, they're slashing these. The best deals, the best quality, the best made. American from the great Mike Lindell. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Remember our friends, my friend, because they remember us. Now, let me tell you what happened. First of all, then we're going to get into it. We spent today, it's a very cold day, in the borough of Queens. And my beloved wife, the great, the one, the inimitable, the ineffable, Mrs. L, had an event for Lynn's Warriors at a church. Not going to go into specifics. But actually, it was outside of a church. It was in conjunction with a church. And it was an area where afterwards, people who were modestly, I wouldn't say, some were poor, some were, but the point is there were people in the neighborhood. We set up stands, tables, and we had diapers, baby wipes, blankets, gloves, books, free books for kids. It's just wonderful, wonderful. Just there was a scene that almost killed me. I don't cry. I get sometimes emotional. There was a little boy, a little African-American boy with his father and his mother, and they were picking up, I think they're picking up diapers and just wonderful things from people who've contributed. Make a long story short. They had toys. This little boy had, I think it was, I don't know what it was, a truck or something. I think he had like 2 of them, and a look, a grin that, I mean, his face was going to break. And I looked at him and I thought, it's like a truck, not a phone. And he was happy, and it was beautiful, and it was cold too. We got there very early because we had to get there early because of the marathon. We had to get there before. Anyway, make a long story short, it was one of the most gratifying things. And then as it starts, we spent much of the morning and then into the late afternoon, dealing with people and volunteers. And it was a beautiful assemblage of Chinese, Hispanic, Dominican, Puerto Rican, the usual folks, admixture, African-American, the pastor, the people who work. So I'm talking the whole day. And it was not overtly in any way a political thing. In fact, there was no mention of it. It was not, there was no condition here, take this, not. We met a woman who was our new best friend, Chinese woman, who was like the Pope of this neighborhood of Queens. And so she would say, sometimes the Chinese folks would come by and they look like, what is this? And we would try to stay free, and we couldn't really communicate. So she comes in and she says, they trust me. I said, what do you mean? Because a lot of time people don't trust you. I said, really? I said, well, that kind of makes sense. I don't trust anybody either. I said, but why when you're giving something away, would there be a problem? He says, it's hard to explain. So as we're talking, she is running the show. So as we're talking, I'm talking to her. She says, and people always do this, and I'm not going to imitate her voice, but she says something like, they all vote Trump. All of them. And some of them, people, especially who come from communist countries, even though they're told, and many of these people are from, the communist China, but even though they're told, listen, don't worry about it. Say what you want. Don't worry about it. They're like that. So, 100%. I said, why? And they looked at me like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I know so much. That this man is going to win. The numbers, the response. There's nothing half-hearted about it. The only thing if you feel half-hearted, is the anti-gay Mala is equal to the anti-Trump from her side. It's the most incredible thing in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Burns says the betting markets now have our side tanking fast. I wish I had your optimism. Uncle Lenny, I love DJT. The betting market? I okay. Thank you. I don't know what that means. That's do you want me to give you some other polls that you would like? Would you like me to do that? I don't care about that. You're telling me that you're going to let the betting markets that they're applying an analysis. Do you know what the betting market showed that put Hillary in the lead? I'm not going to go through this, but if you'd like, do you want to go through this? We can do this. You see, sometimes what you want to do, this is the most important. Look at this. Someone writes this. Want to know why Kamala is trending up on Polymarket? Right now, a bunch of no-named accounts are generating activity, selling at a loss. Across multiple betting avenues, they're manipulating the odds and creating downward pressure for Trump and GOP and upward pressure for Kamala and Dems. Literally buying and selling within the same minute. Their accounts history are in the negative for it. Check activity on Polymarket for yourself. It's bananas. There's a fire sale on Trump. This isn't public opinion. Do with that opinion what you want. This is not financial advice. This is just one of, oh, Bunk has a great piece on it. Now, do you want to keep doing this? Now, let me ask you something. And I mean this. And I mean this sincerely. And I mean this to our good friend, Rachel. Rachel, you're going to have to do some research on this, my dear, or else you're going to lose your mind. Brad Rung is going to say, love your poll, and I'm scared as hell. Okay, good. Be scared. Dream Killer says, I saw you today. Didn't wish to bother you, but I saw you. Iowa poll is nonsense. Indeed. You saw me. Well, if you do not ever not bother me, I will be so angry and furious. I will not be able to. I will not be able to speak to you. Please don't ever do that again. But thank you. Now I'm going to direct this to Rachel, but everybody else. When you see something, do you research it? No. When you research it, so when you receive good news, do you research it? No. Because good news is always important, right? It's a common thing. When you receive bad news, you say, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? Do you believe that betting is a clear and an accurate indicator of what things are? Do you think the stock market is a clear and accurate indicator of the worth of a product? When they were going through that, what was that thing they were doing? Was it AMC or? Now I've got news for you, but it took me just a second. And by the way, this is not, listen, I'm not, Rachel, I'm not going, it sounds like I'm like Scoria. I'm not. This goes everybody. When you read something, when you say, why all of a sudden the night before, or the 2 nights, when it's going through the roof, when everybody's saying it's a disaster, he is killing this. And all she's doing is putting together Cardi B or pulling something at Pennsylvania, somewhere in Philly. And by the way, it seems that we find that Taylor Swift will not be doing this, which is great. Brad says you have been spot on for the past 4 years. Well, I not only that though, but I was right about 2020, which made people very, very upset about. And that's what really made people Very upset. I guess maybe that's maybe what you're referring to. DB say 2020. Did you think Trump was going to lose? Yes. In fact, um, when this was when let me phrase this. Let me phrase this. When somebody says you think you're going to lose, I was saying he's not doing this the right way. And people were getting very upset by this. They said, I didn't come here to listen to this. Now, 2016, I absolutely said, there's no way he's going to win. No way. See, I wasn't introduced to this whole Trump thing. I was red pilled in 2016. I did not vote for him. I voted for me. I thought, okay, Trump said some stuff. Okay. Do you think I vote for somebody because they say great stuff? Or do you think I have any belief in whether they can do it or not? I don't vote for somebody just because they say something. I mean, his makeup is a shock to you. I don't vote for somebody because maybe they're not the best speaker or they're the best, whatever it is. By the way, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she's Tulsi Gabbard is very appealing to our platform, but Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she is statesmanlike. I saw her speech in Georgia. It was terrific. Marjorie Taylor Greene has a tremendous potential. We have to work on her favorability across the board. She's very good. Make sure she's in there. You remember, you got to have a secret cabinet. What? Uh-huh. No. Wait a minute. They made the 800,000 from the. Are you not? You're not mispronouncing. You're not mispronouncing peanut, are you? As in PENIS, right? Listen to this. Who ratted out Peanut? Oh, hang on a minute. You're not going to believe this Peanuts. Where is this in the porn? Okay, listen to this story. I'm going to change. We're going to go to Peanut. Listen to this. New York Post just broke. This is wild. P'nut the Squirrel was ratted out by someone, and his upstate owners think it was over jealousy. Mark and Daniela Longo told the Post on Sunday that they had been cashing in on their furry internet sensation, who helped steer followers to their, are you ready for this? Raunchy OnlyFans site. Not involving Peanut, mind you, but no zoophilia. Before he was seized from their animal sanctuary and euthanized by state environmental officials over rabies fears. There hasn't been a case of rabies since the 40s. The couple's financial success, fueled at least partly by Peanut, may have been enough to drive someone to drop the dime on them and their fluffy-tailed cash cow. Maybe it's someone who thinks I use the place to make a lot of money. Did this do wonders to my OnlyFans, Mark said of the site, where Peanut frolicked along with other animals? Absolutely, it made a lot of money from this. The Longos said they bought their 350-acre spread near Elmira with the $800,000 that they made in 1 month posting their porn online. 1 month? And Peanut then began pulling his own weight with his separate family-friendly fan base. I had my own kind of squirrel dad account, my own Instagram, Mark Longo said. And it's me doing my workouts. And a lot of the times, I didn't have time to make dual content like I used to. I just tag my squirrel dad account from the P'nut video I posted so it gets double the clip views. Every once in a while, a shirtless photo on P'nut's page too, but I completely separated myself from this entire thing. Obviously, people were going to find both and try to associate them. The Longos made headlines after the State Department of Environmental Conservation raided their upstate spread. P'nut's Freedom Farm and grabbed their lovable furry pet and his pal, a raccoon named Fred, with both critters euthanized over rabies concerns because they were in close contact with humans. Seen by many as victims of an overreaching state government, the couple have become local heroes. Mark Longo said he thinks jealousy led someone to call the DEC on P'nut, who was a cash cow for him. Well, maybe not as much as the other thing. This morning at the supermarket, I wanted to get a few extra copies of the Post to keep for myself, Longo said, referring to Sunday's paper with the front page headline, Bushy Whacked. When I walked in, people recognized my face because I was on the cover of the newspaper, and they just kind of smiled and nodded. Last night, my wife and I went out to dinner. We were having dinner, and the couple next to us looked over and said, "We're sorry for what happened, and we want you to know that you have our full support." Everybody was just noticing. And then they would tell us, they were sorry about what happened with P'nut. The squirrel's death sparked so much outrage that it prompted a state lawmaker to propose legislation to improve animal rights statute called the Peanuts Law, Human Animal Protection Act. What happened to P'nut was a tragedy, said Assemblyman Jake Blumenkranz. He said on X, as a state lawmaker and an animal rights advocate, this tragedy can be an agent of change. Mark, and he got a little hat, and there he is. Mark and Daniel Long said they made $800,000 in 1 month on their spicy OnlyFans. Do you believe that? $800,000 with one person, with millions and millions. Were they pulled in as Peanuts' mom and dad, or they were just with 800 billion sites, free, non-free? Listen, God bless them. God bless them. Now, this new law would mandate a 72-hour waiting period before an animal from a sanctuary can be put to sleep, and creates an appeal system while giving animal refuge sites the right to humane due process. Peanuts' death has sparked backlash from other pals, too. The spokesman from Governor Andrew Cuomo, from former governor, who was reportedly eyeing a run for New York City mayor, trolled Kathy Hochul and X over her administration's handling of P'nut. When no one is minding the store and state agencies are allowed to act with impunity, this is how stuff like this happens. This situation should have come across someone's desk in Kathy Hochul's office. Someone with a brain should have stepped in. GOP upstate rep Mark Molinaro wrote, as a pet owner, I feel for the Longos, and I'm calling for Kathy Hochul to issue an official apology for their ridiculous overreach. A GoFundMe page for P'nut has raised more than $132,000. I wonder if they're still going to do that. Now, let me explain something to you. I want to talk about this too, because you're not going to believe what I'm saying. And P'nut, and my favorite is the picture of P'nut. There's with his hand, kind of this diaphanous kind of heavenly picture of P'nut with his hand on a paw on President Trump's shoulder. DB. Brad Rung says, knew he would lose in 2022, but been following you for the last 4 years, and you knew they were dumping Joe last minute. We both didn't think this. Yes, a couple of things. P'nut, old news today. It's Trump bling. A mic stand. Yes. Well, yes. I'm not going to say that word because of things. Trump was making some reference out of frustration to a microphone. Martin Higgins says, so far this year, 99,000 babies and a squirrel have been aborted. But the Deathmocrats, how many aborts has Kamala had? Well, we don't know about that. Maybe they should take Longo out for suspicion of chlamydia. I mean, fair is fair. That's very funny. Dream killer, that is very funny. But let me just stop and see if we can put this into perspective. First and foremost, remember what I was telling you before. The number one issue I would have done, in fact, all during I was watching the Georgia piece with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and some other guy who was some guy talks like this. Hey, it's great to be back and make it. I'll tell you what, that's Donald Trump, that kind of thing. Even Herschel Walker, oh, poor thing. Bless his heart. But he's honest. He's sincere. Okay. As they're talking about this, the thing that got everybody's attention through the roof was this idea, this story about men transitioning to women and men appearing on teenage sports. I am telling you, and I've said this, the people that you want who might be undecided about Donald Trump. Can you imagine being undecided about anybody? Imagine being undecided. These people are stupid. Undecided? These people have to be spoken to differently. Undecided? These are not the regular folks. Undecided? No, I'm sorry. I would be very simple. I would make it very clear to them. If you vote for her, you are going to see men in girls' bathrooms and locker rooms. And some hairy guy is going to be wrestling with your daughter if she's on the wrestling team. These people are sick. That's what I would say. Okay? That's what I would say. These people are sick. Now, here's the best thing, too. Now, with all due respect to the Longos, I wonder if that's some kind of a pun. With all due respect, and please, I want you to understand something from me. If you are a human being, and you're an adult, and you want to engage in consensual activity and record it, and there's no, minors or animals, fine. I have no. Oh no! Stop it! Stop! Don't say that we did. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't desecrate little Peanut. Hang on a minute, Fred. Just a minute. One more thing. But I got to tell you something. Unless this individual was born bi or polymensulate, meaning unless he was born with dual appendages, or unless she has some, I can promise you that what they do, no matter the dialogue, no matter the lighting, no matter anything, comes down to basically a few specific permutations of you doing this, and we pretty much run through it. And I think it's been exhausted. And if somebody wants to pay the Longos extra money to depict this activity in a way that nobody else has seen, that makes it worth whatever the money is per month. God bless you. You can say, why are you paying for this? It's everywhere. It's been, oh no, you don't understand. They do it differently. She wears a toreador's outfit and they speak Esperanto. Oh, okay. You know that maybe. But that's a free country and you can do whatever you want. Okay? OnlyFans has done for the porn industry what Pro Tools did for recording studios, and it's a great ecumenical. Why should just a handful of people make it? Right, that notwithstanding. So whatever you want, oh, it's okay. Nobody's really talking about that because you know that Adriana, whatever her name is, Di Matteo from Sopranos, she said, I paid off the mortgage. Hey, listen, if this is what you're doing and you're an adult, God bless you. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing. Nothing. Why should you not be able to do? I have no problem with that. Again, as long as it's consenting adults. And it's not surreptitious. And it's not made on somebody's yacht. Or, you know what I mean? That's another story. But this P'nut and Fred, what about Fred? Fred the raccoon. Named Fred. Nothing. But this is going to say the draconian. Now think about this. They send in Roger Stone ninja SWAT teams to get a little squirrel, little Rocky the squirrel, little squirrel, little P'nut. They sent in a ninja team, Allah, to get a squirrel. Django says, thank you for your calming influence during this trying time. Thank you, sir. Let me say this again. Somebody said, okay, boys, saddle up. We're going to the Longos property. Those two people doing the OnlyFans, well, maybe they are, but how would you know that? In any event, we're going to pick up P'nut. Who? We're going to pick up P'nut. That's not a love name for the. No. Okay, you mean you're going to pick up a peanut? Well, it's a squirrel. We're going to pick up a squirrel. We're going to pick up. I'll drive by. Oh no. We're going to have 5 people show up for. What was it? 5 hours. We're going to take the squirrel out. It's a squirrel, but he may have rabies because he's in contact with people. There's squirrels all over the New York, the Central Park. Remember that black squirrel we saw once? Did you ever see a? Yeah, those are like these are different. Yeah, these are a different breed. They're black, solid black, like ninja turtle. I mean, ninja squirrels. You've got people pouring over the borders. Millions and millions of tren de Aragua. In some states, going to apartment complexes, threatening to kill. Nobody does a thing. Human trafficking. Nobody does a thing. Roosevelt Avenue in Queens. Open air brothels, sex trafficking, up and down. Nobody does a thing. Fentanyl deaths and carnage, and nobody does a thing. They don't care. Crime, Lake and Riley, go down the list. But no, they took 5 or whatever the number of people, and they did a SWAT team to pick up a squirrel because somebody ratted them out. And they're afraid that this rabies is preposterous. But some guy who decides, I'm walking around with this environmental putter, I'm wearing a gun, nobody takes me seriously. So you know what I'm going to do? Let's put on the SWAT. Let's get the M4 and let's be badass for once and, bring some heat and light the place up and grab Fred and whatever. And that is going to be absolutely the perfect example of how these people have lost their mind. You think I'm kidding? What do you think we talked about today when we were out talking to all these people? And some pretty smart people. Peanut. Peanut. Now, you may not understand this. You might be listening to me and you're saying, what is he talking about? What is he really talking about? What is this guy, honest to God, talking about? Is he serious? Oh yeah. Absolutely. There are some things which make complete and total sense. Let's go back. Guatemala. This is why you should feel so happy. First, it was the bread bear. Remember, she's only been around for, let me see. When did Guatemala, I can't even say that, announce? Remember that her campaign on July 21st. And July 21st, just so that we know this, was precisely, it was 105 days. So for 105 days, she's been it. 105 days. Now, most people, when you say 105 days, this is terrific. I'm doing great. Now, listen to me, especially all you folks who are feeling worried and being upset. Listen to what I'm telling you. Most people say, I got 105 days. This is fantastic. Why? I can't possibly screw it up. It takes years to come up with stupid things. People have done some stupid things, said some stupid things in the past. But even, Joe Biden has come up with something stupid all the time. You see what I'm saying? So what she did was she came up with everything this quickly, this fast. Hold that thought. Think of this as I remind you of this other important word from our other and great sponsor. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you this. He's going to win, and you're going to be surprised afterwards at how many polls were wrong, as was the case with Hillary Clinton. You're going to be shocked at how there's a possibility, especially sounds nuts now with Peanut. See, Peanut's easy. I'm going to say something to you, and I don't want you to tell anybody else. Most people are stupid. They just don't understand stuff. You can we had a guy one time, there was a story years ago. of a man who he was retired, he lived with his daughter or whatever, and he would go at the end of, he would take his little chaise longue, not lounge, but his little folding beach chair, and he'd go to the end of their driveway, and he would just sit, and he would just look. And then if a car waved by, he waved. That was it. They got a car, it was like a cul-de-sac or a part of the. He didn't get a lot of cars, but there was one car. You go like that. Somebody one time from a local paper decided, or thought it was interesting. It was like a local regional, the Rego Park Star, and they did this whole story about how this man goes like that. It makes him happy, and he spreads good cheer. Well, somehow, I don't know what, but they found out where he lived, and all of a sudden, cars were being rerouted, much similar to a Christmas decorations. You know what I mean? Where all of a sudden the people would go like that, and trucks and people would, and the neighbors went crazy. So they told him, "You can't wave." He said, "What? You can't wave. You're causing a nuisance." He goes, "I am a veteran. I will wave. If I want to wave, you can't tell me not to wave." It blew up like you cannot believe. Oliver Calamari says, "Did P'nut have info that could lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton?" Only logical explanation. By the way, Peter doesn't care about Fred and Peanut. Sad. It's true. You see, they don't care about that, but they're going to say that it was wrong for this guy to keep a feral animal. Remember was it the Lion King, or what was that guy? Remember that weird HBO thing, Lion, Tiger, Matt? What was it called? Remember that creepy guy in Florida? Tiger King, whatever the hell it was called. The Tiger King. Yeah, we watched this. But what I'm saying is, this fellow who was with the waving, it was the greatest exhibition of governmental overreach anybody's ever seen. And it was a simple, but people understood it. They said, "I understand now. P'nut, I know this sounds nuts. We'll make a big deal. Let me go through what happened. Let me tell you something. In 105 days, first it was a Brett Baer interview. She was so clobbered, people realized that's it. That's it. And she was late, gave him 20 minutes, and basically knew nothing. She destroyed him. It's one of the best ever. It was a truly good one. That's number one. In no particular order. Then came, Madison Square Garden. And there's the order's wrong. Madison Square Garden blew everything up. They said they were Nazis. Called them Nazis. So what happened? The Trump people took it, and they took pictures of Jews who were there. We're not Nazis. There were people walking around. I'm not. It was the dumbest thing anybody has ever. Somebody, I think, really thought they were being clever by saying, "Well, there was the Bund meeting, and there was this." Yeah, but there were two popes there, and what are you talking about? These people have no sense of propriety. They have no sense of proportion. They have no ability to understand any of this stuff. Okay, that was that. Then, for some particular reason, I don't know why, I still can't figure this. I still can't understand what possibly motivated these people to do this. But at some point, somebody said, "Hey, let's let Mark Cuban say something." So this fool pulled out of his arse this story that strong women, do not stand near Donald Trump. And it blew up to the point that no one ever even imagined. It was ungodly. I mean, okay, that ruined it. They said, Mark, go home. You just single-handedly destroyed our he hates women thing. Okay, fine. Then comes the McDonald's thing. The McDonald's thing is the most beautiful thing. They went crazy with that. This woman, and then she says, well, I worked at McDonald's. You didn't work at McDonald's. Then they found a picture of this, I think it was a white lady who died or something, and they superimposed her with a white lady. Now, I'll let you do the math on that. That's up to you. So that blew up. That was the McDonald's thing. Then came Joe, who says, the only trash I saw was the supporters. Unbelievable. Came the trash bags, the garbage truck, the yellow vest. Do you understand that? He wore the yellow vest. He wore the Vesta. And he's driving a garbage truck. And Vivek Ramaswamy, who's might already be a billionaire, is saying, here, let me pick up that garbage. It's kind of like almost, it was a bit patronizing. Do me a favor. Do a week's worth and get up early in the morning like they do. And do this for a week. Don't take your wingtips off and put the vest on. Do it for a week with these people. Because in New York, you probably don't know this, but in New York, we have New York's bravest are the firemen. New York's finest are the police. Okay. Now, most people don't know anything after that. New York's strongest is the sanitation department. New York's boldest is corrections. And ready for this? Here's the best ones. New York's proudest is TLC, Taxi and Limousine Commission. Most people, nobody knows that one. And by the way, last late night election stream or no, got here late. Oh, we're going to be doing it. Oh, yes, of course. I don't know what shape we'll be in. Oh, Tuesday. Oh, absolutely. We'll probably go 7:00. We just keep going until we just pass out. Until we just sit through this whole thing. Okay. Now, and by the by, thank you, Philip Petchow. I appreciate that immensely. Thank you so much. One time on television, after the dropping of the Times Square, the New Year's Eve, I marveled at the old sanitation guy. They cleaned up Times Square in 5 minutes. God bless the sanitation people. God bless these men. I got this beautiful letter from the chief. I'm serious. God bless the men who, when you flush your toilet, can you imagine like, oh no, what am I going to do with this now? I don't know. Compost anyone? I don't know what to do. God bless these people. Okay. So to make a long story short, they were kind of like patting the garbage man on the head. And okay, fine. But it doesn't matter. It was a great bit. It's still, there was another one I'm missing. There was another one they did the other day. This. Well, now we have P'nut. So I would say this. If you call, my line would be, if you ever are in trouble and there's a wild tren de Aragua crazed lunatic with a machete who is about to take off, lop off your noggin, don't call 911. Call the DEC and tell them you've got in your home a rabid, a wild feral hare that you picked up, some muskrat or something, and you're not going to turn it back over. And rabies be damned. And wait, and of course, if you're doing porn, watch them just speed over with an alacrity and a celerity no one has ever seen before. This is the point. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a fascist regime where they send a Roger Stone 4 a.m. CNN ninja stormtrooper invasion team to get a squirrel. Men in the girls' rooms, hairy men walking around nude in the locker room, competing against your daughters in wrestling, denying little Tiffany and little Morgan their chance at a scholarship in lacrosse. And now what do? They kill P'nut. They kill P'nut. I was going to put P'nut 2000, no, what was it, 2017 to 2024. He was 7 years old, apparently. 2017, they nursed this little squirrel back. His mother was dead, and the squirrel came back. They fed him. Years ago, I did a fellow, there was a guy, listen to this story. True story. It was on WABC. There was a guy named Frank Balin. Frank Balin was a man who was a turret gunner in, I think we lost him. But anyway, World War II, he was a turret gunner. And he had a little tomato patch. And something was eating his tomatoes. So he went and he got a catch, a safe, really, he thought it was a rat or something. But he caught this, or had this safe cage. And in this cage, he said, I'm going to catch the little varmint that's eating my tomatoes. David, thank you, Richard. So what happened was he decided that it'd be a good idea to do this. So what he did was he when he set it up and he said, oh, look, and he showed his grandson, look, we have one of these things. So he puts it inside his house. He brings it inside his house. I don't know why, but he puts it, and he calls up the animal control and somebody says, listen, can you come pick this up? They say, we're very busy right now. We'll pick it up later. And as he's on the phone, the rat is sticking his head through, almost getting out. Now you can ask the question, why is it inside? It's a good point. But the point is, it was almost getting out of the cage that was used to. So he said, listen, you don't understand. Can you send somebody over earlier? The rat's getting out of the cage. He said, I'm sorry, we can't. Just then, the rat was almost slithered out. His grandson's there. He doesn't know. For whatever it's worth, he decides to get a stick and wallop it, and no more Mr. Rat. When the person came by from the animal, I think it was Jersey. When the person came by from the state to pick up the cage with the caught and seized little varmint, they noticed it was dead. So he said, what happened? He said, oh, yeah, if I could tell you that. The cat was, so I had to get a stick. They charged him criminally, or administratively or criminally. But in any event, I asked him on the phone, don't ask me. We called him. It's WABC when it was really something that, it was big. Rush Limbaugh, Bob Grant, we were it. We were it. Morning Drive, we were. And I kept calling this man. I said, let me get this straight. And did you serve your country? Yes, I did. Well, I was in the Army Air Corps. I was a turret ball gunner. You serve fighting fascism, and this is how we treat you. And I'm yelling, Attica, Attica. So anyway, I kind of embellished it, but it was a true point. People went berserk. Okay, listen to this. So we get another call from, I think it was the judge, this poor judge who got this case, kind of like not a city clerk, but something. He said, I have been called by everybody from all over the world about this as an example of a ridiculous system, and what are you doing, and you're making this poor guy, and this and that. About it went forever. And it was a combination of everything: excessive force, overreaction, a veteran. And eventually he had everything, but Frank Balin was a hero. But the point is, sometimes when you see a particular event, Rosa Parks just said, The story goes, I'm not getting up. I'm not moving my seat. That was it. It's these little events, these little, somebody decides to breastfeed a child in a public, or one event, and it just goes crazy. This goes to show you the fascisti. We live in a country where they don't stop. And somebody said it best. They don't care about unborn. They don't even like animals. They're PETA this. They want to euthanize. They euthanized him. Why don't they take it out and put it back into the wild? Maybe you can because he plays the banjo. When he's got a little cowboy hat and his own little chaps on. For that person, for that voter, this is what drives him crazy. He's going to win. He's going to win. And I want you to sit there and say, in 2016, Hillary Clinton, was it Iowa? She was up by 6. She lost. They were wrong. And they never go back and they say, well, I was wrong with that one, all right. Wow, that was just, I don't know what. I don't know about this one, but my God, was I wrong. Jeez, God, was I. I had no idea what I was doing. This is the thing which is the most important part. This is the, where is the one that I had? I was trying to see. There was a wonderful see. I like these ones. Oh, and by the way, please don't. Please don't. And let me go back to Rachel, dear Rachel, bless your heart. Go back to Atlas Intel. Forget the but Atlas Intel. Atlas Intel shows the most accurate pollster of 2020 has Trump winning every swing state. Atlas Intel again shows this is not Polymarket, but this is this one. This matters more. And it shows Trump ultimately with a 312 electoral vote. 312. It takes 270 to win. He gets 312. Now let me ask you a question. What are you going to do if you see something that's negative? Why do you stop and say overseas voting or voting shows Trump losing? Let me ask you a question. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the idea is so frightening to you, you can't even understand it. The idea is so disgusting to you, you cannot believe. You're thinking to yourself, I may not wake up. If she wins, I may go into a coma. I may go into a coma, and I may not make it. I may go into a coma. Right? You can't imagine the idea of her standing there with Tim Walz. He's the vice president. I think that's almost worse. He cast a tie vote. Kamala, 105 days. 100, I think it's 105 days. Is that it? 105 in any event. You can't take this. This is something that is so unbelievable. You can't take. You don't want to hear. You want to hear every single possibility quashed. You're saying, tell me there is no chance. I don't care if he wins by a little. I don't care if it's a landslide. I don't care. Alex Jones thinks it's going to be a landslide. Okay. What do I feel? I go for overalls. I'm not going to sit and look at the polling data. What I am telling you from the people who are the fundraisers, the big money people, When you go and how do I say this? There's two groups of people that you seek to get as investors. The first one are the people who will work for Democrats and Republicans no matter what. They'll just send the money no matter what. I'm just There are other people who say, okay, show me the data. Why should I dump a large sum of money into Trump? I'm maybe not even that crazy. Why? Let me show you the internals. What I'm hearing are the internals. The internals are the ones you spend $1 million on, where you get exactly the right count and you get likely voters. Rachel, I hope you're still there. Rachel, if you and I go to the Short Hills Mall in Short Hills, New Jersey, and let me walk in there and I say, okay, do me a favor. I want you to just get a sampling here. We're going to do a kind of a cheesy poll. They gave us, $5,000 to do a poll, so we're not going to go crazy. Do me a favor. You go up. You see that group of 10 people? Go up and ask them. Bunch of young white girls there, bunch of young black girls there, mixed white and black girls there, men, women, age, whatever. Go in and ask them, what do you think? What do you think? Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel says, I'm still here. And Soul76 says, DJT, a little birdie told me New Jersey may be in play. Oh, absolutely. So anyway, so we're going to go into it. Now, what questions are you going to ask? Remember, we got $5,000. I'm a part of his Quinnipiac or this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I want some ABC. And listen, ABC is paying for this poll, but they want a Pokemala poll. Because that is the fake. That's the word that says, hey, she's doing great. Let me do one of two things. One, it may energize the electorate or the voting populace, or it may say, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about voting. Or why? Because what do you mean? Because no, I'm just going to forget it because she's winning and they don't need me. And so it can have an adverse effect. Okay, fine. Let's keep moving. Listen carefully. So as we're doing this, you go up and you say, I asked, there were a group of 10 girls, and all of them, I asked them, I said, which one do you want? Or who do you like? Or do you like Trump? They said no. And they're all legal vote. The question was, are they going to vote? No. Are they likely voters? No. You didn't do that. They're not likely voters. You asked a group of people whether they liked Trump. You didn't ask them whether you were going to vote for him. Vito says, as a former New Yorker, I miss you from your old days in Chicago now. Do you think we have a winner on Tuesday night or days of stupidity? No. You're going to see projected winners. You're going to see, well, we're going to look at this right now. And we're going to say, well, we're looking at this right now on the campaign in Pennsylvania. The results will not be known for a couple of days, but minus that and the margin of error, even if they win, you're going to have a winner. Absolutely. But there are going to be some things like, well, this may not be. Are you going to have every vote like you do in every other foreign country? No, of course not. But it's not. Everybody says that. I was listening to John Mearsheimer. John Mearsheimer is a very interesting fellow. Just as an example, and this is not an accepted reason per se to believe one way or the other when it comes to actual final voter tallies and the like. But nonetheless, they asked him, what do you think? And he said, well, I think Trump's going to win if I have to do it. But she may get the popular vote. I'm thinking, you see, it's cool in some circles never to act like you like Trump. You can't like him. So you must always kind of qualify it. See what I'm saying? So everybody is saying this. They're not saying anymore too close to call. Nobody is saying this. Nobody is saying too close to call. Nobody. You're not hearing too close to call. You're not hearing it. Nobody is saying it. Nobody. There's no, well, the tough, no. But what they're doing is they're trying their best. They have to maintain a degree of accuracy, a degree of legitimacy. They don't want to be completely humiliated like they did oh my God, in 2016. Oh God, remember that one? How many people were to poll serve? Did you ask anybody? But I want you to remember this. You've been through this. You've been through a lot. And I understand and I feel your pain. You are going to be very happy. You're going to hear about voter irregularities here. Don't call it the F word. You might be hearing about, oh my God, Dinesh D'Souza, not another document. Oh my God, look what they're doing. You might see a cardboard panel. You're going to see something and you're going to sit back and say, okay, fine. There are going to be interstitial moments of problems here, there, and everywhere. But he is going to be victorious. The swing states alone, he's got. And their best part is, tell me one name that Kamala can invite to a concert and will cause people to say, you know what? Now I'm voting for her. Tell me one name. Tell me one name. Tell me one name. One person. Is it Taylor Swift? Is it Beyonce together? Is it, I don't think Jagger would win. Philly, would it be well, Bon Jovi and Springsteen are next door, but would that be who exactly on the night before the election would cause people to vote? Thank you, Motto. Motto Green says Lionel. No one. They're doing everything in their power. They've got bargaining chips. They got people say, hey, I'll help. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, our good friend, hang on a minute. Slaphead says, even Kamala isn't voting for Kamala. Well, they asked her about this proposition. Was it Proposition 6 or whatever it was in California? That I guess she still is a resident. About violent sentencing, violent, whatever. She said, well, no one answered the question. She was the wrong person. She enjoyed it at first. Ladies and gentlemen, she says, okay, fine. I'm going to be Joe's, but fine. I like it. This is as good as it gets. I was the vice president. No fire to be president. I'm always a vice president. I'm just back there. I don't want to be slugging it on the courtroom. I want to be the attorney, the DA. Then I want to be the AG. I just want to be back there. I kind of like this. I can do my thing. And then vice president was terrific. She did nothing. Joe started to crater. The Democrats turned around, handed what's his face, Tom Hanks, a paper in which he signed it. Not Tom Hanks, George Clooney. He signed it. He don't know what it was signed. That said, it was a letter to the editor. Please, it's time for you to step down. Joe said, what? And Kamala said, what? We want to step down. Okay. And Kamala said, well, who are you going to pick? You're going to put somebody else in there? And he said, no, we're going to pick you. Me? Yeah. Me? As president? Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought maybe if he died or something, but you just got rid of him. Yeah, I know. Are you sure about me? Yeah, absolutely. Taxiway Aviation said, hey, Al, hope you're well. It's Graham Murphy. My son commandeered my YouTube channel, hence the name change. Good to see you. My way. Dear God. The name. Just now I'm thinking, my God. Welcome home, my friend. And also, remember one thing. I think I speak for all of us when I say, rest in peace, P'nut. Godspeed. We hardly knew ye. So young. If you think I'm kidding, if you think before, I hope Kathy Hochul, for the rest of her life, she takes credit for all of her divisions. She must take the blame and find out who was that, who was the Derek Chauvin. Are we going to have, is Ben Crump going to come down? Are we going to have like BLM or PLM, like Peanut Lives Matter? Are we going to have riots? Can we call Antifa? Can we board up, showrooms? Soul 76 says, hey, honey, look, Bono from YouTube is singing for a gay mile tonight. Well, that changes my vote. Absolutely. There's no one. They have nothing. Do you think that we will see PLM, Peanut, Squirrel Lives Matter, or animals? Where are they? Little kids asking their parents, who was Peanut? Well, son and brother, what happened? Was that little Peanut? Yeah. The one with the little cowboy hat? Yeah. And the chaps? What happened? Well, Timmy, some bad men came in. They did what? Taxiway says, L, give us your Indian Pandajai accent for old time's sake. One for Trump, please. I'll think about that. I'll think about that. It has to be contextual. Warren, hang on. Warren Ocasio says, why do we accept this utter nonsense? Counting votes after election day. Thanks for helping us stay focused through all the malarkey. Warren, my friend, if you went to a Elon Musk and said, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell me, is there a system that you and all of your mathematical geniuses and others can put together that can make voting quick and easy and efficient? Oliver says, WLM, wildlife matters. Absolutely. Peanut. I want Ben Crump. I want to hear no justice, no peace. Can you imagine Peanut's little casket? As they carry it down in the back of a hearse, you can hardly see it. You probably notice it. So anyway, voting, we have this thing. This is this way of voting. We vote for all the time. Vote for SAG-AFTRA stuff, and it's with a card. Fired my eyes out. I'm a grandma. You mean cried my eyes out? Is this what Peanut? Peanut, I can't. And by the way, they're showing pictures of somebody who supposedly turned her in. I'm very, very distrustful of people yelling pitchforks and torches on these things. Why didn't they just call Turtle Man? It's a great question. David, I'm glad you're thinking about these things because we need you to go through them. These are questions that should have been asked. And we needed you the whole time to ask them. And I thank you for that. I thank you immensely for it, truly. In any event, my friends, is there anyone that still needs the love and respect? Are any of you still terrified? What would it take for you? What do you need to hear from the enemy media? What do you think they would ever tell you? What do you think they would ever tell you that would make you feel better? What? Anything in particular? Is there anything that they could tell you? You're terrified now? Are you terrified because you just detest her to such an extent that you can't imagine her? Or do you think that maybe she really is doing much better than people think? Or is it a combination of everything? Do you just disconnect yourself from reality? I think the only way, I think we know, the only way that she will win. But the question is, will it be detected? That's all. This man has suffered more than anything anybody has ever imagined. how he has maintained his fortitude, his energy, his attitude through lawsuits, turning himself in, mugshots, prosecutors, attorneys' fees, just to get them back. Where's this endless millions and millions of dollars? I two good pieces of news or one good piece. Rudy Giuliani is considering running again for New York mayor. I would vote for that man for anything involving New York mayor. He would crush Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo. People love, they want law and order. Can you imagine Rudy Giuliani in New York City? The police will be allowed to be police again. It would be one of the greatest and most glorious things. And I hope that's true. I hope it happens. Ms. Lauren, he says, cried my eyes out. Had a pet squirrel when I was a child in Alaska. President Trump, save our pets. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm glad. Remember the cats and dogs and geese in Springfield, Ohio? What about East Palatine? Anybody see Pete Booty Giggity Giggity Giggity? He might have been the most AWOL, I guess, chairman or whatever of the Department of Transportation. There may not have been anybody in the history of American government who did less than he did. Thank you very much. Now, my friends, in the spirit of Peanut, we think of him. We think of him. Ms. Lauren, am I reading this correctly? Thank you. David Register, Oliver Calamari, Warren Ocasio, Taxiway Aviation, Soul 76 Can, Slaphead, Veto, David Register, Philip Petchow, thank you. Oliver, I said that, Django Thunders, Clona Steve, Dr. Dreamkiller, thank you for that. Martin Higgins, Rob Vagona, Brad Rung, DB, and Rachel Burns. Rachel, you started this off this evening, young lady, with your question regarding Polly Marcus. I hope you feel better. And I hope that explanation, go to X or read what the others are saying. People are buying and selling, and they can see how they're trying to artificially create the idea that Trump is tanking or that she's rising. Believe nothing. My friends, remember, preparewithlionel.com, mypillow.com/Lionel. Very, very important. Very, very critical. I thank you for that. And don't forget, also, nodebtwithlionel.com as well for those who have, please join the thousands who have been helped dramatically through that most impressive and most important feature. All right, dear friends, have a glorious night. Please also go to Mrs. L, Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. And let me tell you something. We had a tremendous day today. I'm so proud of my wife. But I was lucky enough to be there. She did so much good for so many people. It was absolutely one of the greatest days of giving and charity and just love. Good people, strong people, loving people, Trump people. Believe it or not. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much. Remember, Tuesday's going to be a great day. Relax. Be careful. Read up, but don't worry. Got to take care of it. See you tomorrow, my friends. 8 a.m. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That. Okay, hang on.